Just got a question from my friend Renee, and she says, how do you become an entrepreneur? Where do you start? I spoke to a spiritual teacher one time, and she asked me this question, and I thought it was a really great question. She said, what are the top 5 things that you used to do as a kid? And I was saying to her stuff like, I don't know, play with action figures, video games. I'd make like little businesses and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Even like I would walk around and imagine different scenarios and act them out and watch movies and like match the faces and stuff like that. And in that process I actually realized if you can relate the things that you love to do as a kid, and not necessarily what you were specifically doing, because as a kid we're pretty limited to what we can do, but like the reasons behind what you did as a kid. Because when I was imagining and doing all these faces and watching the movies, I was pretty much acting. And then as I got older, I realized, how cool would it be to get into acting? Well, as a child, you have these ideas of who you want to be. Because when you're a kid, they tell you, you can be anything you want. But then for some reason, as people get older, the cynicism starts to come in. If that's even a word, I don't know. The cynical people start to come in. And they'll start to tell you things like, oh, you shouldn't do that because you're not going to make a lot of money doing that. Or you shouldn't do that because, it's not a really good career, right? Or you're not able to do that. You're not capable of it, right? And then your confidence goes down and this doesn't happen in a day. This happens over periods of years. So what happens is, you talk to a 12-year-old about their dreams and you talk to a 25-year-old, it's a very different story. Very. And that's sad as fuck. Excuse my language. But like, what happens is, as a 12-year-old, you know what you want to do. At 25 or more, you have to remember what you want to do because you spent your entire life being told by other people that it's not possible. Well, I'm here to tell you that it is possible, so find out what you absolutely love, and then ask yourself this question. What is it that I absolutely love to do? What am I really good at? And what are some of my best skills that I can use to serve people's needs? And then how do I take what I love and the skills that I have and serve as many people as possible? As many. Because the money that you make is basically and essentially proportion to 2 things. The value that you provide and how many people you provide that value to. The second aspect that I highly recommend if you're going to become an entrepreneur is to find a mentor, because success leaves clues, right? And if you spend your entire life trying to figure out how to become an entrepreneur, there's a lot of trial and error involved in that, and you're going to have to do a lot of reading, a lot of figuring stuff out. But the way to speed that process up is to just meet someone who's already doing it and then say, hey, what do you think I should do? What's the roadmap? Because if you're trying to get to a destination and you don't have the roadmap to get there, and you're just gonna try to figure it out as you go, it's gonna take you a long time. But if you know someone who has that exact map and you can just follow the map, you're gonna get there way faster, of course, right? It's the difference between driving aimlessly and having a GPS, right? So having a mentor in the business world and becoming an entrepreneur is extremely important, and you can do that in so many ways. There's certain people, if you have the money, there's certain people that have paid mentorship options, and you know what? Sometimes it's worth it. It's honestly worth it. There is also the option of you can go to someone and say, hey, listen, you're doing what I want to do in the future, and I don't want to compete with you, but I want to learn from you. And would it be possible for me to volunteer for you, work for free, and in that process, I would like to learn from you. People will be like, free help? Yeah, sure, come on in, right? And in the process, you get educated as well, and you don't have to pay thousands of dollars for a tuition. Perfect. And I think the last thing that's extremely important about becoming an entrepreneur is you have to just do it. It's like, I don't know how else to explain that, but the actual execution process is the most important part. See, we all have ideas, but you know how much an idea is worth? Nothing. It's useless. People say knowledge is power, and I'm gonna tell you right now that that's absolute bullshit. Bullshit. Applied knowledge is power. If you have an idea in your head and you do nothing with it, what's the point? right? Like, if Walt Disney decided, I want to make a cartoon about Mickey Mouse, and then never made the cartoon, he would still be a loser. So you found what you love to do, you found a mentor, but now it's time to take action. You have to do it. And you know what? A lot of people will get in these processes, and if this happens to you, which it probably will, notice it and fix it, because what happens is people say, I want to become an entrepreneur. They're like, okay, great. So I want to become an entrepreneur, but before I do that, there's a couple things I need to do first. I need to make a logo, I need to think of a business name, I need to think of this. No. Being an entrepreneur is not about thinking, it's about doing. Well, you gotta think as you do. Don't just go out and not do a bunch of things and not think about it. But like, you have to actually do things. Now, the best thing about an entrepreneur as well is that they're willing to learn. They're always open to learning. So the key to being an entrepreneur is to execute, do, take action every single day, as much as you can. Don't waste an hour or a second of the day. Just find out what you love and just immerse yourself in it constantly throughout the day. But take action. I don't know how many times I have to say that, because what happens is people get stuck in these things. They say, I'm gonna become an entrepreneur when this happens, or I'm gonna become an entrepreneur after I'm done with school, or when I have enough money, or whatever. No, fuck that shit. Excuse my language again, but seriously, because if you wanna become an entrepreneur, all being an entrepreneur is doing things. And you're gonna make mistakes. You're going to make mistakes, I guarantee you that. You're gonna fail a whole bunch of times. But a successful entrepreneur is someone who is willing to fail, but willing to learn. Because if you're willing to learn and you're constantly learning new things every day in regards to your passions and things that you wanna do, then as you make these mistakes, you're also learning. So what happens is every day you're learning about how you can grow, how you can become better, and then you're taking action on that growth. What did I learn? How can I apply what I learned and become better? What did I learn? How can I apply what I learned and become better? And you do that every day, and what's gonna happen? Every day you're just gonna get better and better and better, no? So that's the key. I would say in conclusion, make sure that you are, 1, doing what you love, 2, find a mentor that can speed up the roadmap on how to actually get there, and 3, make sure you're actually taking action on it on a consistent basis, and 4, be a lifelong learner. Every single day, just focus on learning and learning and learning, and say, how can I get better? How can I grow? And how can I grow the other people around me as I grow? How can I use my selfishness and the things that I love to grow everybody else in their selfishness? That's it.